Dear Nikon, it's time we had a talk. I still remember when I first picked up my Nikon camera. It was a D5500. I got it from Best Buy due to like a random price mistake deal. But I had an unfortunate accident. Now, I was originally with the Canon and I dropped it and it broke. And I found myself in a situation where I had to get a new camera. And that simple accident probably set the path forward for the next 10 years. I picked up the D5500 and I was honestly shocked with just one, the price, because it was totally a mistake and I got half off, but two, just what I could do with it. We began cooking up content that day. We've been creating vlogs, YouTube videos, and building a photography passion that honestly, I fell more and more in love with your lens options and just the beautiful colors you captured that it was great. But then I got deeper and deeper into creating YouTube videos and other video content. And I found myself limited with what the 5500 could handle. And then you drop the Z6 and the Z7, and honestly, my God, it was like seeing a bride on the wedding day, right? You're all dressed up, full on magnificent features like I've never seen. Yeah, Sony and Canon were still falling really behind at the time, and you just had such great potential for videography. I knew I wanted the relationship to grow, but honestly, I think now the honeymoon really faded. Any good relationship, it takes work on both ends. Each partner should be putting in effort and continue dating beyond just the wedding day. Couples grow and as they grow older, but they can easily grow apart as they grow older. And that's honestly, Nikon, where I see us today. I've since grown past just being a photographer and when I first started, right? And I really find myself more and more experimenting with videography. And what have we seen? Canon and Sony making huge strides around us. It just becomes more and more apparent that honestly, Nikon, you are still yet to mature and grow in this relationship. Like an older married couple, eating dinner at the same dinner table. We're together, but are we really together? Progress is still progress. And even though it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back, it's still progress. The Z30 and the Z8 were two completely different steps towards maturing. On one spectrum, you introduced an entry-level camera capable of handling most vlogger and new creator needs. With the Z8, you showed just how you could bring flagship features to a bigger audience at a slightly lower cost. And again, 2 steps forward. But what troubled me the most and have the most fascination with is you're trying to relive your high school days, right? And you're wearing like crop tops, bell bottoms, backward hats, and you're calling yourself a ZF? A retro style camera with the insides of a Z6 II? 1 step back. You're trying to grow, but are you growing together? The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. And this is definitely the case when it comes with Sony. Now, look, Nikon, it's not you, it's me. Maybe it's a temptation put into my mind from YouTubers and some of the more recent videos I've been seeing. Maybe it's just seeing all the work that Sony's put into their growth and their self-improvement. There's more and more video-centric cameras from the Sony line, like the FX30, the FX3, and the ZVE1. Sony's been slaying the video scene and just showing how much they've grown along the way, on top of their photography stuff. And I don't see Sony attempting to live life backwards, just kind of like the way you are. I mean, hell, they're now able to handle some of the hardest jobs. They're pulling out 4K 60, 4K 120, even 8K on sound cameras with no sweat. And we're talking about flagships, right? Like, have you seen the A9 III global shutter? Like, I know I shouldn't compare, right? But I've grown in this relationship. Honestly, what about you? I see you growing, Nikon. I really do. It just feels like we're really growing apart. Like the Z30 came out and I was excited for it. I got it right away, right before launch day. And it has such a huge impact being a compact and budget-friendly camera that I used it for a secondary rig. I mean, I started streaming and I was using my Z6 and I hated overusing it. I was using my 5500 like a good workhorse and putting it to its beating. And with the Z30, our first event was an outdoor concert. And yeah, having no EVF, it was a little bit hard to work with, but I was still able to get great images. Then we went to TwitchCon, and I was able to film some video content and photography content for a couple clients, and the content came out good. I love the colors, but I still ran into some of the limitations where the overheating and things like that. And I think what really set me apart was going on my trip to Hawaii. And if I didn't have a lens with VR built in, the dream of using a Z30 as a vlog camera really started kind of coming up short. And so I found myself, do I trade lower aperture for VR? Do I trade light for weight and stability? I think that's where things really felt more apparent that we were drifting away. Seeing you present the Z8, honestly, it gave me so much hope. Like, I really wanted the flagship Z9, but I can't afford it. And I saw you cut the price down, you trimmed it down a little bit, and with the Z8, and honestly, that was a step in the right direction. I see the plans for the future. At least I thought I did. Perhaps a new Z6 or a Z7 with the improved autofocus, maybe some better video capabilities, like raw out the box. Hell, maybe a Z50 or another more cinematic camera. Especially with the 2024 Olympics just around the corner, I was getting hopeful. And then you announced the ZF, a full frame equivalent to what your ZFC is. And you're targeting like this retro, hipster community. And I don't get it. It's like you've hit midlife crisis and you decided to wear your old high school clothes. Why? Honestly, I want to make this work. And we put in a lot of time together, despite us growing apart, right? We could get through our troubles. For being a photographer who deals with partial colorblindness, honestly, it's been a blessing to have a system like you where I can rely on the colors and how accurate they are, especially with just picking up the camera and going. Being able to trust that you can handle things though when I can't, like focusing and not overheating, like pick up where I need you. And I don't see it. And honestly, a good relationship, you trade off your strengths and weaknesses. You have to be there when your partner can't. And at the end of the day, it can't be one-sided. I need to know, are you going to put in more effort? Look, where do we go from here? A more powerful autofocus system on the lower end bodies would be a game changer. It would revitalize the brand so much more. Honestly, it says something about a camera company when your lower entry cameras have faster focus systems versus your full frame equivalents. Take it for what it is, good or bad. Like, yes, the photographer should honestly be just as good with whatever they have, whatever tools they have. But it does become challenging even for the most skilled. What would show me the biggest change from you would be a more cinematic driven camera. Something that's more video centric, having full body stabilization or a better autofocusing system that can help target video creators. I mean, you already excel in your lens options, you already excel in your color options. And I want to make this relationship work, but I want something that's going to help in that new era where I'm growing to. Like, we're seeing a lot more hybrid cameras that do both photo and video. Cell phones have really come up along the way and are even matching some of the equivalencies that cameras can do. And I get no one's going to be perfect, right? There's always going to be some flaws, some things you trade offs, right? But I need you, Nikon, to show me that you're invested. Show me that there's something, there's hope. So, what are your thoughts? Are you a Nikon shooter like I am, and you're hoping to see that there'll be more progress, and not just match what everyone else is doing? Like, do you hope that they're going to surpass the likes of Sony and Canon? Or maybe you're a Sony shooter or a Canon shooter, and you're watching from the outside, and you want to see healthy competition. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, and honestly, what you think. And maybe even what you think could help the brand grow. I mean, perhaps, Nikon will see this. And hey, I'd love to work on a relationship together. Call me. If not, Sony, hey, you can slide in my DMs. Hopefully you guys are appreciating this type of video. And again, thank you for allowing me to share my opinions with you guys. Honestly, it's honest opinion. And I would love for you guys to leave a comment below of what your thoughts are. If not, even just leave the last emoji you used. I'd be curious to see what you used. Either way, it does help the algorithm find other creators like yourselves who are looking for content like mine. But as always, I'm Joe, and this is Mod to Excel. And until next time, peace.